Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and making some really good trades here, and let's get right into it. And now we are going to see that we actually had a pretty sizable pullback today in the SPY, the triple Qs, and the Dow Jones, and the biggest loser today was the Russell 2000, which absolutely got hammered today, so we're going to do some analysis on that one as well. But overall, looking at the Qs here, sorry, the SPY here, it appears that we have potentially invalidated or 1-2-1-2 count, which means that this is either a 1-2-3 something like this, where the 1 has finished here, 1-2, 3, 4, and 5, so which means that the third wave is in, right? And I don't really like this count. The reason I don't like it is that the third wave is so small relative to the first wave that we got. But again, we can just undo all of this, and I do have another setup for you guys, which means if the first one that I showed you, the 1-2-1-2 like this, is invalidated, we're gonna go with this count, which means that we're gonna get an ABC correction now. And if we get an ABC correction, this would mean we retrace back up, fill the gap, and then start to move lower, which means the third wave is in. We're going to retrace in a fourth wave and finish up in a final fifth wave pump, which is possible, right? It is possible that this is moving that fast. But we'll take it day by day for now. Looking at the triple Qs, which is the count that could happen, right? So I kind of have it as the super bullish scenario on the SPY right now, and I do have the more bearish scenario mapped out here on the triple Qs, because they're essentially the same thing. The SPY and the triple Qs, they move very in sync with each other. Lots of tech stocks in all of them. So essentially, if we're finished here, you're gonna pull back up in a B wave, and then you'll finish up in a C leg, which means the third wave is in. And then you're going to come back here in a fourth wave, and then finish up in a fifth wave. Now, this would not reach this target here, if that's the case. It would truncate here somewhere, it would finish, and then you would roll over. Because in Elliott wave theory, the third wave is never the smallest wave. All right? So this is why it's still possible that this fifth wave here is still in play, and you're doing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a bit of a smaller count or bigger count, right? So it's all really relative. It all depends on how you're doing your Elliott wave counts. But for now, what I have it mapped out is I think that the more bullish scenario should be playing out. I know we have a little bit of invalidation here in our fourth wave as it's crossing back below the top of the wave one, but it seems to have held that pivot today for the time being. But we do have a wick below it. So for now, it seems to be holding, and if we are going to reverse back up, then this smaller ABC is already done. This ABC here is done, and this was a buy the dip opportunity today, and you should be rallying up, which, by the way, we did buy the dip. I am currently long on one of our accounts. We closed, funny enough, we closed our long trade on the Russell 2000. We booked over $1,000 in profits on this trade, longing from the lows, like I signaled, a week before. And then now we are, sorry, this is supposed to be the NASDAQ. I'll just change it now, live. NASDAQ 100, because I'm pretty sure most people got it. NASDAQ 100, because there's no way that the Russell 2000 is at 17,000 right now. The Russell 2000 is trading at like 1900, 1950, something like that. So we'll actually head over to the IWM. Let's head over to the IWM, because today we actually had a massive down day. The IWM was down a whopping like 4% at one point. So from this top, we gapped down all the way down to here, and then we went as low as 4.92%. So that's absolutely insane. We had a huge retrace today in the IWM, the small caps. Now, if this ABC is finished for this wave 2, it could technically go lower, because if we're going to do our correct count, then we need to go a little bit lower on our Elliott wave. But looking at the chart here, We do have a nice bullish divergence on the 45-minute. But for now, the trade for the Russell for me would be over, and I'd be focusing more on the Nasdaq. I did like the Nasdaq trade, and that's why I took it today. We're already in the money on that one, so we'll probably set our stops at break even if we do get an overnight sell-off. But things seem to be calming down just a little bit. So that CPI number really crashed the markets today. Had a big panic selling, big bout of panic selling. So maybe tomorrow's a pause day, and then we pick back up for the rest of the week. But we'll take it day by day. Oversold on the shorter time frames. This should be your ABC correction. It should be finished now, and you should come back up in a third wave. If the IWM top is in, if these market tops the significant tops are in, then that's going to be a really big problem. We could take a look at the dark pool trades here. You have massive triple Qs. I believe this one was the #1 trade. They're all appearing near the all-time high levels. We had the same trades appear before the COVID crash as well. It's definitely worrisome. You take a look at the Vanguard Growth ETF, massive trade at the lows, 12th biggest trade since inception, and then you have the 6th largest trade near the highs here. Does it mean that we're going to keep crashing? And no, not at all. But it's an interesting point to take into consideration when you're trying to predict the long-term outlook of the market. That's basically it for the IWM. Let's take a look here at some individual names before we head over to WaveEdge and Market Cipher. So we'll take a look at ROKU. ROKU had a very big down day today. It reacted nicely from the bounce level that I had labeled here, but failed to continue to rally up with today's big drop in the market. Technically, this count here has been invalidated, and I want to bring to attention a new count, that could be playing out here, that we need to consider. It is a bigger wave to retrace because we do have earnings soon, and I know we've been bullish on this stock here, but looking at how this has been trading, it's not very impulsive. It looks to me more like a B wave retrace. An impulsive wave, like a wave 1, is something like this, a gap open in a non-stop rally. That is an impulsive wave. A corrective wave is something like this. It kind of chops sideways. It takes its time to move towards its target, and that's usually a retrace wave, like a wave 2, like you see here. And right now what we're seeing is kind of like a B wave of a larger correction. So if we delete all these counts that we have here, and I'm actually going to delete them for now, because it to me looks like it's potentially invalidating this scenario. We would have to label this as a B here, the A wave down here, which would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the B wave top has finished. When we take a look at ROKU on WaveEdge, very quickly, we see that big money was selling at the highs here. So it's very possible that a B wave could be extending here. Now, if we're going to do an ABC count and we're going to find our target, then we're going to pull the bottom of the wave A to the top of it, and then we'll pull it down to the C leg. So let's just do from this pivot here, and then we'll drag it down. And now we find that the level that we should be looking, but we could be looking for would be between 73 to 57 for ROKU. And right now, you have earnings coming up, and I don't know what happened on today's news, but it dropped 8%. So it's possible that we could get a gap down on earnings. This would just, delay the rally, the larger rally, right? You're still in a larger count. The bottom should be in for ROKU around here, the $55 pivot. But now you have another count starting here, right? So we'll label this one as a intermediate. So we'll delete some counts. It's starting to get messy. So wave 1 would be starting here, and then a larger wave 2 retrace, right, for a bigger rally later on. So again, I'll keep that target there for the bullish count, for the bullish side of earnings. But if it's bearish, then this will be playing out. or it should be playing out. Okay, so that's basically it, and we could extend this further later on if Roku ever does get this this bullish setup here. So this could be the new count due to the big drop today and the invalidation. So if you're in a trade, if you're longing Roku from 85, 86, then you want to stop out, right? You want to stop out, and you probably want to get out before earnings, just to play it on the safe side. And if you are really bullish on Roku, then buy it back after earnings, because earnings could be a wild card. It could go your way, it couldn't. And if you're on the conservative side, then just sit it out. All right, that's basically it for Roku. Let's move on. We'll take a look at StarBucks here. StarBucks, again, another chart that seems to have invalidated some counts, potentially, because let's get over on the smaller time frames. We were tracking an ABC retrace here, and we did react nicely to the level I had outlined yesterday. We got a bounce from it, but when the markets roll over and it's panic selling across the board and people just want to get out, you have these types of reaction. Now, what it did do was enter back the buy area down here in this, this big red box that I have here labeled as a buy area, and it's trying to get out of it. But now what you've done is you've potentially invalidated this wave one here, because you've crossed the pivot. So when that happens, you could fail at any moment, and it could keep going down. But looking at the oversold nature on the 45-minute, it should continue back up in a wave 5. But we'll take it day by day. If it comes out in an impulsive manner, yeah, it crossed the pivot, but it's on such short time frames, you can allow for maybe some wiggle room in terms of invalidation points, but I usually don't like to do that. So if I'm going to trade on StarBucks, I stop out here. But if you're willing to hold, then you should be looking for the 102 target, and it should come out of this in a 5th wave. All right, let's move on, and we will take a look at Tesla here. So Tesla had a down day as well. Tesla actually holding out much better than I expected. I expected Tesla to potentially hit the 176 to 167 level once again, but surprisingly, Tesla came down in an ABC retrace, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and an extended C leg here, but seems to have finished in the buy area. And the way I find the buy area, again, we drag our pivot to the bottom to the top, and you drag it down, and between the 100% retrace to the 1.618 is your target. And from there, the price seems to have held. We got a nice bounce from that area, and now you're just, you're I guess you're chopping about with today's price action. But we had a nice rally into the close, and we'll see if it can come out of it. If you're going to come out of it, then you want to see a 5-wave move up. And if you can see that, then you should be finished around 210, and a bigger retrace will begin. And yeah. All right, that's about it. Let's head over and we'll take a look at some other names here. We'll take a look at Unity Software. Unity Software, once again, gap down today with the markets, panic selling across the board. But look what happened. Once again, you hit that buy area, and to the tick, Unity Software came out of it and was able to sustain itself throughout the day. So that's nice to see, although it was still a down day, but you had a nice tail off the low. So I like to see that. When I see that, I see a lot of buyers stepping in here that are not afraid, and they think that the lows are in, and they want to own the stock. So that's probably along for me if you were to just ask me. There's not financial advice. Let's take a look at TLT and TMF. So obviously TLT is the one-time leverage, obviously, to the 20-year Treasury bond. So TLT looks like it's following this pattern that I laid out for you guys. The low did not hold. Institutions were not able to defend for obvious reasons, CPI news, and then the yields are going higher, which means the price is going lower for TLT. Now, if we're following this count here, this should be your 1, 2, and then you should be coming in a 3, a 4, and then you'll finish in a 5 later on, which means this could take some time for the market. So again, just know that the last 2 weeks of February historically are the worst ones for the stock market. So again, it's just going to be probably a tough rest of the month, and we're just going to have to hold through it if you were long. the TLT. TMF, again, TMF is the same thing as TLT. I did the count here. Although TMF has more leverage, right? It's 3 times leverage to the TLT. So TMF will probably go a little bit deeper between 48 to 38. So that, I mean, I know it's a big range, but you have leverage. So that's just the you know the consequences of using these products. And I mean, I don't think it should reach this low, or else you're gonna have a pivot to trade against, and you stop out if you go below. But again, there's leverage, so as long as TLT holds within its range, you should be okay. And you should just accumulate if you're risk on and you want to buy TMF, then you should accumulate within this area here. Okay, let's cover a few more stocks here. I think a lot of people made a lot of requests. See if I can remember them all. I think someone asked me to take a look at Apple and NVIDIA. So we'll take a look at Apple. Apple here coming down in a wave 2. Wave 3 of 3. So if it continues, then it should continue lower, which means we have more selling to come on the markets, which is kind of like it's selling right now in the after hours, but we need to see what happens tomorrow. But yeah, Roku getting a little bout of selling here. Sorry, not Roku. Apple's getting a little bit of bout of selling, but you saw some buying back into the close. Maybe it's just shorts covering. We'll see more tomorrow. But this is the count for that I have for Apple. NVIDIA, nice topping tail here. Nice little tail on the daily time frame, I believe. Or a bit of a doji, and now you had a kind of an update today. You know, you gapped down in NVIDIA, rallied up, so lots of buyers stepping in. So this stock is a super strong name right now. No fear, all buyers, no sellers. You really need a bigger drop in the market to shake people out of NVIDIA. They just too many people FOMOing and they're not selling because they want NVIDIA 1000. That's what they want. And the same thing goes for SMCI. We'll take a look at ARM as well. Someone asked me to take a look at ARM. So ARM looks like it's in its buy area here. It had a 19% down day, but it's been up over 118% in the last couple of days here. So for ARM, if you're looking for some longs, this should be your target. And if we're gonna do an upside target, then it could go anywhere between this range here. Anywhere here could be your exit for ARM. I mean 205 to 261. I mean I don't know if it'll do that, but given looking like how crazy people are right now in the semiconductors, I would not doubt that this could happen. All right, let's take a look at nat gas, oil, gold, and silver, and we'll finish it off with the dollar. So nat gas today got pounded into oblivion. Again, another down day for nat gas. It looks like it's getting pretty oversold on the daily now. It's getting... I wouldn't like this for a long, to be honest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down days in a row. The 8th day, I would chance a long. And I think tomorrow, is it tomorrow that we have the nat gas numbers, or is it on Thursday? So natural gas inventories are going to be on Thursday. So maybe we have a pause day tomorrow or another down day in nat gas, and then you have inventories coming out at 10:30. Yeah, so 10:30 nat gas storage on Thursday. We'll have to see what happens, but it's been pounded down so far. You actually do have bullish divergence, funny enough, but you're in price discovery towards the downside in terms of a nominal low, not an all-time low. Oil get perking up here and getting some upside, but I would like to see more impulsiveness. I want to see a big green candle on oil. If you could take out these pivots, then you really have your upside target here between 88 to 84. Gold and silver, obviously, not surprising, getting pounded towards the downside today. DXY surging, right? DXY and yield surging. So again, we talked about the TLT. Yields were surging. Dollar was surging. This will push equities down, and this will push gold and silver down as well. So gold falling below $2,000 now, and coming, you're seeing some fundamental buyers step in, but for me, I would like it to enter this range once more, like 1950 to 1960, and then we'll look for some long positions in miners. Silver's is a complex one. It's an industrial metal and it's a precious metal. This one could go significantly lower or not much lower at all before it breaks out. To me, it looks like it's about to break a whole cycle higher and could start its rally to like new all-time highs. But again, that hasn't happened in 40 years, and it's a big claim to make right now. But to me, this looks like a cycle low, cycle, or even a super cycle, and then you're finished, and you're just getting ready to go at any moment now. And the dollar. So the dollar is rallying higher here, and we're doing our Fibonacci retrace. We have targets up here at the 668. But I think we've been following it, and we actually, so this is the count. So this is the retrace. We're actually looking for a potential retrace to the 105.665 level here on the DXY, and if we could reach that, maybe we'll have a significant top, and then we rally back into the end of the year into elections. So maybe we are going to get this bigger retrace in the Dow Jones, the S&P, and the Nasdaq, but it should be supported. We should be okay, and the market crash is not just yet, and it's just going to be a bigger buy the dip opportunity. Okay. All right. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys on tomorrow's market recap. Let me just do one final check here for sorry, people that were asking. People were asking for IWM, TLT, and TMF. Yeah, I covered everything. Enjoy the night, guys. Peace.